What does the Indus Valley civilization tell us about the development of complex societies? Although the Harappan civilization does not fall into direct ancestry of classical history like the Middle Eastern civilizations, we can still learn a great deal about the ancient world by examining the Indus Valley civilizations that emerged in places like the Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa. Three main things we can learn about from them are their culture, their technology, and their religion. There were a few major early settlements, and they were villages along the river. They used copper, wheels, and plows. The more mature they got, the larger cities were, with more uniform bricks and such. Later on, things fell apart and collapsed when the river moved. First, we can learn about their culture. Much modern Indian music is derived from ancient Indian music. They had an 8-note scale and learned music using rhythmic solfege, also known as takumi. They had complex rhythms with modes that may seem unfamiliar to us. Their instruments were also similar, but were still different from ours. They looked like flutes, cellos, guitars, or banjos. They only sometimes sounded similar. We've not translated most of their language, but we can tell they were well versed in astrology. They had straight streets in cardinal directions and a star calendar. They had their own arts, too. It developed over time, with children being a big part. Many figurines celebrated childbirth and were ceremonially important. Unlike Mesopotamia, however, they were not used after the ceremony and often given to children as toys. This is one of the reasons they are so hard to find intact, even though they were made out of terracotta. Women were also important too. Quote, figurines of women are perhaps the most plentiful of the figurines in the Indus Valley. The reason for this is unknown, but it is proposed that women were given a special place culturally in society due to their ability to produce offspring, unquote, according to Jason Veer. They also had games, artistic turbans, and jewelry as large parts of their arts. They also had a lot of technology. Some Harappan inventions are still used to this day. These include some of their boats, and their culture of technology was very advanced. Quote, Indus dentists drilled and crowned teeth. Indus engineers built tidal locks and other sophisticated water management equipment, unquote, according to John H. Linehard. Water systems were a huge part of their city planning. Cities had layers for water retention and narrow roads. Their high walls led to almost constant shade in the streets, even during the hot summer months. Placements of houses were also rooted in their water systems. Their settlements were built in 2 sections, their smaller and higher section, or their larger and lower. Most of the houses were in the lower segment. They had a citadel built centrally and had a great bath, a bathing platform, which served for ritual bathing for any ceremony. Lower had residential. They also had highly advanced sewer systems for the time, which was better than some of even some of Europe in the Dark Ages. They also had their religion, which we can also learn about. Their main religion was Hinduism. It's not exactly one religion as much as it is different religions with the same principle smushed together into one. This led to a much different legal system than we're used to. The Law of Manu offers insights into the historical contexts that shaped them. The conquest of India was in waves of outsiders, and that is reflected in the religious concepts of the caste system. The Law of Manu represents the ancient sources of early Indian societal structure. Manu was the first man, believed to be the first man, so there was believed to, and a king, so there was a belief to be social order from the very beginning. One example of one of the laws of Manu is giving different is quote is giving different people different social levels. Well, then this can be seen in the quote quote, but in order to protect this universe, he assigned separate duties and occupations to those who sprang forth from his mouth, arms, thighs, and feet, unquote, from the Law of Manu. They also had gender norms similar to other ancient societies. It was largely patriarchal, and children were a central focal point. However, adultery was not as severely punished. The woman's job overall was to be a good wife. So, although we might not see the benefit, although the Harappan civilization is largely overshadowed by other ancient civilizations, we can still learn a lot about the past world from examining it. Thank you.